If we should run it now, you will see. So instead of no column, we now have number of books. So that is how we use our functions together to give us a meaningful and a readable query. Hello guys, welcome once again to my channel, and you are here. Okay, so today we are going to continue our SQL series, and guess what? We are starting as a pro already, because we're going to be querying our already created database. So as usual, stick to the end and gain the value that this video has for you. Let's go. Okay guys, so we're going to be looking at writing some common query functions such as aliasing. Then we're going to look at aggregate functions within our select statement. So now aliasing is a function that is used to rename our column, and this is done using the as keyword. So whenever you see as, that's aliasing. So this helps to make our query readable. It makes our returned column, it makes them readable and easy to understand. So let's see how we do that. So we're going to query our books table from our online bookstore. So let's select all. Let's select all from our book. Select all from books. From books. Okay. So going to run it. Okay, so we have our books table. Let's assume we want to maybe rename our column. We're going to see it most times we use aliasing in joining our tables and naming a derived column, maybe from an aggregate functions. But for now, let's assume we want to rename this price column and this title. Let's rename them and see how that works. So we're going to rename the title as book title and the price as book price. So to rename our title column as book title, we're going to select book, select title. Let's point to our table first from books. Yeah, so we're going to select the title, select title. So we want to alias it as book title. So we're just going to say as book title, right? Let's just have it this way, as book title. Then our price column as well. So price, we want to have it as book price. So as book price. Okay, so now if let's execute this, let's terminate it. It's always good to terminate your query when you're done. Okay, so can you see we now have book title and book price as against what we have registered in our table. Normally this is title and this is originally price, but with the aid of the aliasing keyword, we've been able to rename the column as book title and book price. Okay, so that is how we do that. Now, for our aggregate functions, these are a set of functions that help us, perform some calculations on our table and return a single value. Okay, so we have the count function, the sum function, the average function, the max function, as well as the minimum function. So for now, we're going to deal with that. Now let's see how we apply this one after the other. The count function is used to count our rows and return a single value. How many books do we have on our database? So for us to do this, we're going to use the count function to count the number of books. Okay, so we're just going to say select count. That is the function. So select count, then it's a function. So it takes some argument. So you have to, whenever you are dealing with the function comes with open and closing parentheses. And inside it, you now have your expression nested. Okay, so now what column do we want to count now? So we want to count, let's count the book ID for us to get total count of our books. But I would like to point to the table first from books. Okay, so we want to count the book. The book ID will give us total count of all our books, right? So let's terminate it and we'll run it. Okay, so you can see we have 29 books. Now let's put together the aliasing we've learned about earlier on. You see this column is coming as a no column because it's a is an aggregate column. So normally it's going to come without a name. Therefore, you have to rename it. You have to, alias the column. Let's rename this as number of books. Okay, so we're going to have num of books. Okay, so now if we should run it now, you will see. So instead of no column, we now have number of books. So that is how we use our functions together to give us a meaningful and a readable query. So now that let's go on. That's how we use the count function. You can count any column you want. You can count the entire rows. Just specify it within your count function. Okay. So now this count, there's another keyword called distinct. So distinct, what distinct does for us is distinct helps us to return unique values, which means that it helps us to remove duplicates. So let's assume we have this book ID duplicated now. For us to ensure that only unique books, only unique rows are counted, then we're going to say select distinct. So we're just going to change this code to select distinct. Okay, so we have the select distinct, then we count the books, and so that means all our books are unique, or each row is unique, which means we have 29 different books on our book. So this is how we use the distinct keyword. It's not a function, it's different from count. For you to know whether it's a function or not, a function always have an open and closing parenthesis where you nest your expression. So distinct is not a function, it's a keyword. Okay, that is why we are not putting any opening or closing parenthesis. But count is a function, and that's why we are nesting the book column as the column to be counted. Is that thinking? Okay, so let's proceed. Now we are done with the counts with distinct. We're going to look at sum. So sum, just like you know already, it's a function that we use to aggregate our values, to add them together and return a single value. So let's say we want to sum up all the price of our book. We want to sum up the book price from our book table, or we want to know what's the total revenue that we have generated so far. So we're going to do this using the order details table, right? So let's go. So we're going to select, let's see the order details table first. So from order details, so we're going to terminate it and run it. Okay, so we have this. Now if you were to know what total quantities of book that have been ordered so far, so that means we're going to say select sum rather. So it's contained in the select statement as well. So we can say select sum, then quantity, right? Quantity. So sum is a function, and you have to nest the column you want to perform the aggregate function on inside the open and closing parentheses. Okay, so from the order details table this time around, from order details. Okay, so going to have it then. Okay, so it's $216. So let's 216 quantities. So let's alias it as number of books ordered. Total number of books ordered. Total number of books. Oh, it's getting too long. It's always good that your column name is not too long. Your column header rather. So this is not a good one, but let's go with it. Okay, so we have total number of books ordered to be 260. So this is how we use some of these functions to answer some business problems. Okay, so moving forward, we're going to look at the average function. So we have a business problem here, and it is to get the average quantity of books purchased per order. This was the most quantity of books purchased per each order. It could be more, it could be less, but mostly. So how do we achieve that? We're going to use the average function. So we're just going to say select average, which is denoted by avg. Okay, so it's a built-in function, and don't forget, since it's a function, we have to put our opening and closing parentheses with our expression nested inside. So which column are we going to find this? Are we going to perform this calculation on? It's still the quantity column. Okay, so we're going to have, let's point to the table first. I love to do that so that we can easily reference whatever column we need to. So we're going to say from order details, right? Okay, so then we need the quantity column. Yeah, so then let's alias it as average quantity. Average quantity. That's just a QTY, average quantity per order. All right, so let's execute this and see how it goes. So we have it. So the average quantity per order is 1. So the next aggregate function we're going to look at is the max and the mean. So for the max and mean, like you already know, the max is used to get the highest value within a column, while the minimum is used to get the lowest value within a column. Let's assume we want to know, what's even the highest selling price on our book table. So how do we get that? We're just going to select. So we're going to select max. So max is a function as well. So and as such, it should be with open and closing parentheses. So max of price. So let's point to the table first from books. Okay, so from books. So select max price. Let's tag it. Let's alias it as highest, or let's say most expensive book, most expensive price. Okay, so from the books, then we terminate it, then we run it. So the most expensive is $49.99. So we can also get the cheapest. So just going to, let's copy and paste because of the time. Just going to copy and paste. Then we're going to change this to mean. So it's going to be mean instead of max. Mean. So mean is a minimum. A minimum. So let's say least expensive. Least. Let's just say least price. So this price will survive. Okay. So then we're going to execute it. So we have the list price as 25.99 against the highest, which is 49.99. So that is how we use some of these aggregate functions to solve our business problem. We're going to look at the top and order bar. So let's take it one after the other. The top keyword is used to select a specified number of rows. Let's assume you want to select maybe the first 10 rows, the first 20 rows, the first 2 rows, as the case may be. So in SQL Server, we make use of the top keyword. So let's assume we only want to select the top 10 rows. Okay, so from our books table, we're going to say select top, then 10 of all, right? Then from where? From our books table. So that means it's only going to return 10 rows. So you can see just 10 rows. Meanwhile, the book table is more than 10 rows, but because we have specified top 10, so that is how we use it. Okay, so the order by clause is used to sort our queries, to sort our return based on maybe a column based either in ascending or descending. So assuming we want to sort this top 10 now, if we have to sort it maybe based on their title or based on the price from the highest to the lowest. So that means we're going to say, we're just going to transform this. We're going to say order by. So the order by comes after our select from or where statement. But in this case, we don't have any where statement. So it follows immediately the from statement. So order by, what column are we ordering it by? Let's order by price. Order by price. Then in descending, since it's from highest, so descending is from the highest to the lowest, while ascending is from the lowest to the highest. Okay, so that is when we are dealing with figure. But when you are dealing with alphabet, descending will be from Z to A, while ascending will be from A to Z. So we can run this now. You're going to see. So you can see that our books, this query has, with the order by, it has been sorted from descending to ascending based on the price. So this is the maximum price, then followed, and so that is how we use this keyword, this clause, to transform and to improve our queries. These functions can be combined together. So at least you can have the count, the sum, the average. You can have them in a single query depending on what you want to use them to solve. Okay, so for instance, let's say we want the let's say the average price. Okay, so we're going to tag it as average price. Also, we want the sum of all the quantity. Sum of quantity as total quantity QTY from our order details table, from order details. Okay, this is actually supposed to be price and purchase. Okay, so now let's run this. So you can see we have both of them together. So you can combine them together based on the problem you want to use them to solve. So guys, this brings us to the end of the video. I hope you gained something valuable as usual. So these are some practical exercises that you can take on your own. Make sure you do them so as to reinforce what you've learned. In the next video, we're going to be looking at how we can write, how we can join this table, how we can group them by, how we can perform some other queries to answer our business problems, the more and the better. So make sure you watch the next video, and I'm sure you're going to hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your loved ones. I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.